Hey everyone, welcome to my first game with the new Frontier Pass. This was really awesome. I've been looking forward to this. I just released my last game all in one video just so I could get this game out a little quicker. So yeah, this was a really interesting game. I played as the Mayans, and I had a really cool start, just like my last game. I started next to a natural wonder. This time it was the El Dorado, I think it's called Paititi, the Lost City of Gold, whatever it is. That is really, really powerful. And so I was able to actually settle like 3 cities in range of it. And just getting the culture and the gold was incredible being next to that. So I got a really strong start. The rest of the game didn't quite go like I hoped. It was a little weaker. I only wanted to settle like 8 cities maximum, and just try another tall strategy with fewer cities, fewer big cities, rather than a bunch of small cities. But I still have a lot of perfecting to do on that strategy. I think it is possible to get a decent science to finish fairly quickly, with a science victory with only like 7 or 8 cities. I think it is definitely possible, but couldn't quite get to where I wanted this game. But it was still a lot of fun. I got to political philosophy I think on turn 34, which was much faster than anything before, and that was all thanks to the natural wonder. Some of the tiles around it give you like 4 culture, so I was working like basically all the tiles around it pretty quickly. Okay, so my strategy was basically I didn't want to do an ancestral hall this time. I wanted to try the audience chamber instead, which gives you housing and amenities in your cities with governors. So I didn't do ancestral hall. Looking back, I probably should have, actually, because being the Mayans, it's very unique, very hard in the beginning. You don't start with fresh water housing you don't start with any housing from water. So whether you settle on a river or off of a river or on a coast or off coast, your first city starts with 3 housing, and then all your cities after that start with 2 housing. So as soon as you settle your secondary cities, their growth is slowed down due to the housing limit. So you really have to get a farm down as quickly as possible in each of those cities. At least 1 farm, I think, maybe even 2, because 1 farm gets you to 3 housing, 2 gets you to 5. So I probably could have done a better job with that looking back. And that's where the ancestral hall would have been really good. I figured I'd be settling less cities, so I should do audience chamber, but I think ancestral hall for the builders is probably the way to go. The reason I was only settling, I figured this would be a good tall civ because they get 1.5 housing for each farm, which is really good. When you get a few farms in each city, the housing is amazing. It's like 10 and up. And then you get the aqueduct, you get the full 6 housing, no matter where you settle. Normally, when you settle next to a river and you have an aqueduct, you only get 2 housing. Here with the Mayans, you always get 6 housing from the aqueduct. So I probably didn't even need the audience chamber for the extra housing. Yeah, so let's see. The Mayans have this bonus. Their cities within 6 tiles of their capital gain 10% to all yields. So I was trying to really just maximize that and only settle within 6 tiles. It's a little hard. When you have a city-state, I don't think I had any city-states within 6 tiles, thankfully, but if you do, and there's a very good chance you will, it's basically like getting forward settled, kind of. It's not really good if you're trying to go tall and just maximize this ability. But I did get forward settled by someone else pretty early on, so I only ended up having 7 cities for most of the game. Um, yeah, so there was no. I figured since I'm only doing fewer cities this game, I wouldn't need a classical monumentality golden age. I didn't have any faith. There was no faith economy, so I just produced builders produced settlers the traditional way. Um, let's see. I tried to get observatories early in all of my cities, and then commercial hubs. I ended up doing. I think I got a medieval golden age, so I ended up getting a few commercial hubs a little late on that, but free inquiry golden age was pretty good, and I think it would be better if I planned it a bit better. Yeah, so let's see. We went with we didn't get the religious settlements pantheon in time. Someone else got it, so we went with goddess of festivals for the culture because we have a lot of plantations. You get your observatory. The unique district gives you 2 science for adjacent plantations. So fortunately, we had a bunch of those, and then we were able to get culture on those plantations too with the pantheon. Yeah, was able to get Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein. I missed Hypatia. That would have been helpful. Hypatia gives you +1 science in your libraries. Isaac Newton gives you like +4 science, I think, or maybe +2 in universities. And then Einstein gives you 4 science in universities again. So I was good to get those 2 guys. I didn't have a lot of production this game, so I wasn't able to do too many wonders very well. I had very few trees or jungle to chop. It was pretty flat land, so that was not ideal. But okay, so now let's talk about the settings for the game. It was deity, difficulty, standard speed, continents map, standard map size. I went with the apocalypse game mode, the new game mode. That was pretty tough. A lot of my cities kept losing population due to disasters like floods. Even floods that were like 4 tiles away were decreasing my population. I had like blizzards coming up from the tundra way up north into my empire. But it was fun. Tried some of the soothsayers. Yeah, that could be really interesting when you're at war. I played peacefully the whole game, but soothsayers will be very cool in war. Let's see. So the disaster intensity is at 4 whenever you do apocalypse mode. I set the resources to abundant because I wanted a lot of plantations. So that was really the only other. Oh, I had 15 city-states too. So these were the settings. Here's the map if anybody wants to play with a pretty cool start right next to the new natural wonder, or one of them. Yeah, so it was otherwise it was a pretty traditional science victory, but observatories are really powerful. All of them, I got all my observatories up to 3 or more adjacency, so rationalism was powerful. I got declared on, and these units are amazing for defense. You get +5 combat strength when fighting a wounded opponent, and then any unit gets +5 combat strength within 6 tiles of the capital. So playing defensively is so easy with the Mayans. My gold economy was really solid this game, I thought, which was cool. And partly because of the farms, you get +1 gold. Yeah, so that was the general strategy. Hope you enjoy it.